That's
Hello
just
and
easy,
welcome
bro.
back to the Behind the Plate podcast as a part of One IQ Sports Talk. DJ almost cut me off on the intro. I'm your host, Will. This is the other host, DJ. DJ, what were you saying, dog?
I was saying, welcome back to One IQ Sports, the Behind the Plate podcast. I've never introed it. One day I'll get the opportunity to, but
He,
Will, we're happy today.
what people don't know behind the scenes, he intros it about 40 times to make me laugh and self-conscious, and then I actually have to intro it. But yes, we are happy today.
Yes.
DJ, why are we happy?
Well, September's upon us. This horrible month is over. I don't know if it's actually as bad as I've made it out to seem.
I don't think it is.
But we were in a playoff spot heading into the month, and now we're not. I think that's what makes it, not the best feeling, but we're always so negative. So let's bring it up today, starting with some big call-ups for September.
I want to go through the waiver wire. I don't know if you talked.
The waiver
Did
wire,
you not
yes,
see that
waiver
the
wire.
waiver wire went nuts before we
Yeah.
get crazy? Yeah, I mean we're coming off a Blue Jays win, which is a very it's a novelty at this point. Like that's so rare. We
Yes.
ignore the weekly record, but Wednesday was a win. It was a big one. But the
Hmm.
waiver wire went wild, man. The Angels got rid of
Hmm.
everyone. They traded I think it was three of their top five prospects for guys they put on waivers a month later. Like
Hmm.
they gutted their farm system. Um, and I mean, like hindsight's 2020. Looking back, they probably shouldn't have done the move. I think we were on the side of hey, you probably shouldn't buy, but it was fun, and I don't fault them for doing it. And they gave up, and it helps them because when they're gonna lose Otani in like what 50 days, they they get a higher draft pick now because I think they're under the first threshold,
Oh,
so they
yeah,
might
I
get a
don't
higher
know.
draft pick. But the main storyline for me is the amazing career path of Lucas Giolito and Reynaldo Lopez, who got claimed by the same team and continue to play together. It was first the Nationals, then it was the White Sox, then it was the Angels, and now we're into Cleveland with the Guardians. So I'm glad that stuck together. Ohio was the big winner, just the state of Ohio. I think they claimed 90% of people in the waivers.
Yeah, no, it was busy. I don't know about you, but this waiver thing, I know it's
This
a
is
pretty
new.
weird concept. Yeah, it's pretty new and weird to some people. I like it. It brings even though it was a trash day for us, things like the trade deadline and the draft and all this stuff get the fans excited because
It's
you're like,
fun.
oh shit. Yeah, it's like even if they're trash players getting let go on waivers, they could turn it around and you get a
Yeah.
new acquisition to our team. So I think it's fun, and yeah, I think the Guardians. I mean, why not, right? I
Yeah.
I think it's a good move.
I think the waiver wire could be reworked a bit. I mean, so it's in
Mm.
place of. Do you remember the waiver trade deadline, the August
Yeah.
31st one? So this is, I think, what it's in place of. Um, but I think it could be reworked a bit. So it's an order of worst team to best team, which makes sense, right?
Yeah.
But I think the fact that you can claim like 3 or 4 players at a time, like Cleveland could have just claimed that whole team, like
Yeah.
just everyone, right? I think if you had like a cap, if it was like a draft almost, like oh round one and round two, blah blah, kind of like how they do the Rule 5. It's like okay,
Yeah.
you can claim one, you can claim two people, then they have to claim two and two and two and two and two. The biggest shock for me was Grichuk didn't get taken. I thought he would get
Yeah.
grabbed, but like Cleveland basically claimed their whole pitching staff. They claimed Giolito, Lopez, and Matt Moore. And then Cincinnati claimed Hunter Renfroe and Harrison Bader, which I thought was interesting because they don't need bats, they need
Yeah.
pitching, and they just said, what's pitching? Like there were still some good guys left. Clevenger was left. Carrasco was left. Probably another couple guys I'm thinking of that were left. I heard a thing today that there was an AL East team that put a claim on Harrison Bader, and I really hope that was Toronto because I would love to see him in a Blue Jays uniform. So
Yeah.
that's who I wanted so badly today. I was hoping for it. I
Yeah.
needed it.
It was weird to see him go there, and I was surprised. The Guardians did so much with their pitching because their pitching is not even that bad. I mean, they're 5 games out of a playoff spot.
They do have some
So
injuries too.
yeah,
I think it was Gavin Williams was hurt. Cal Quantrill's coming back, but he hasn't really been good. And some of their rookies have innings limits. So that makes sense. Like Giolito's just going to eat some innings. And if you can turn him around and he has even if it's not noticeable for like the last month of the
yeah.
year, you can sign him back on a cheap 1 year deal. I thought Cleveland would grab some bats,
Me
personally.
too. They no bats. That
Cincinnati
was
did what I thought Cleveland was going to do, and Cleveland did what I thought Cincinnati was going to do.
yeah. No, I agree. I think they did it opposite. But I mean, good for them. I texted you this. I was intrigued in possibly getting Grichuk off waivers just to add another bat. And I'm surprised, like you are, that he didn't, you know, get moved anywhere. Because, like,
Um,
he's a decent bat to have in your order down the stretch. Like,
he had a pretty
Howard.
rough August though, so
Mm,
I think that might have played a bit into it. But Renfro just had a terrible year this year. Like he's just not
yeah.
good. Maybe the Coors effect really played a part in Grichuk. Like I don't know what his splits are away from Coors, so
Ooh, I'd have
maybe
to search that up.
maybe there's something there. But yeah, I definitely thought Grichuk was a guy that was going to be taken. I like Grichuk over a guy like Dominic Leone got taken. I was shocked someone like Cookie Carrasco didn't get taken or Clevenger.
Something, something I'm just looking at now is the Josh Donaldson to the Brewers
Yeah, Donaldson
minor
signed.
leagues. He's going to the minor leagues,
Donaldson.
so
Well, it's just basically so they can have him on the
40 day
does
in
the
September.
40 man and then he can
Yeah,
play because he's signed a contract. He can play what is it on their playoff roster. And they
yeah.
don't have to make the move right away. They can kind of figure out what they want to do. So it makes sense.
37. I mean, I don't mind the move.
I personally wouldn't
He,
have grabbed him, but I mean, I get a team that does have to.
but like, I respect it from the Brewers. They've been playing pretty good lately. You never know. He's fucking strikeout machine and barely puts the ball in play, but when he does, he hits a homer still. So, and he's still a reliable third baseman if he
So
stays healthy.
the home and away splits for Grichuk are fucking identical. He's actually better on the road than he is
Oh,
at home. So this year at least. So that's interesting. I thought maybe there's underlying numbers there, but it's a weird one. You know, Grichuk hates his life right now because he's stuck with the Angels.
yeah. Like, what
Man
is
just
he?
wants out. So, yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know. It's gonna be
it's a
interesting.
little surprising.
Yeah, it was weird. I was looking forward to having someone new, but I also kind of figured with September call-ups, if they aren't gonna get a guy like Bader or Grichuk, there's gotta be something better on the way, and it seems like there is. So,
Yeah. I mean, and knowing that we didn't make any moves at the trade deadline, I think they're pretty stiff on this team, like staying how it is,
yeah,
including the farm system, though, because we got
yeah.
some call ups, like I said today, some big
Not
ones.
a also like not a lot of teams made any moves. The waiver
Yeah.
deadline was definitely just like for the fringe playoff teams.
Mm.
Like, the Dodgers and the Astros and the Rangers and the Mariners. Like, you didn't see anyone who was actually in a playoff spot make a move. It was the teams fighting for a playoff spot, which I thought was interesting. I definitely thought a
Yeah.
team
Well,
like the Astros or the Rangers see an opportunity of like, oh, yes, like a free guy that we only have to pay like $100,000 to. Yes, please.
yeah, I never saw anything bad with adding one more insurance bat or,
Yeah,
another relief or like anything, but I guess all these teams that are already in a spot, they're like, oh, we're good. They think
fair
they
enough.
treat it like leftovers. Some people like leftover food, some people don't, and
Yeah, I mean
none of these.
the teams that I noticed that did stuff were the kind of the teams that gave up at the deadline and had a pretty good August and kind of threw themselves back into a playoff spot. You know, the teams that didn't do anything were the teams that had a really good trade deadline minus
Yeah.
Toronto. So I don't know. It was just interesting. I
It
definitely
is.
enjoyed it. I'm gonna look forward to it again. So yeah, I don't know. There's
Me
not a
too.
whole lot about the waiver wire. I just like the Giolito Lopez fact. I think that's hilarious.
I thought it was. I texted you when it happened to him. Like, so the Angels just got rid of their whole trade deadline, and we
Yeah,
were like kind of
I
jealous
didn't
on that day.
I didn't know
And
what was going on. I uh I saw the Jeff Passan tweet and I was like, "Fucking excuse me? They did
it's
what?"
actually, it's almost hilarious how they did it. It's like they
It's the
didn't
most
do.
Angels way possible, man.
They didn't do like anybody extra barely. Like it was specifically those players that they picked up
Yeah.
like 2 weeks ago. Specifically.
It
Uh,
was weird. I personally didn't expect it, but
Me
each
neither. I thought it
each to
was
their
funny.
own, I guess, hey?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I guess do you want to talk about September call-ups?
I think that's
It's kind of like the
should
main
be
thing to
first.
top,
Yeah.
the main thing to talk about. I want to talk about the Yankees first before we go
Okay.
to Toronto. The Yankees are calling up their top two prospects. So catcher Austin Wells and then outfielder Jason Dominguez. First of all, that's so fun calling up your two prospects for September. The Yankees, they aren't fighting for a playoff spot. They're just
Mm.
fighting for pride at this point to finish over 500. They're calling up their big guns to give them a shot. Dominguez may be a little rushed, but it gives me the same vibes that I when 2017 and they brought up Judge and Sanchez. The exact same vibes are being had right now, especially there has to be the same vibes in Yankees land. Get in your top catcher prospect and your top outfield prospect up on the same day, playing at the same time, and they're going to Houston. Are you kidding me?
Mm.
Fun. Storylines to write themselves. I'm so excited for that. That might be a game I watch, actually, if I have the opportunity to.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's the best thing they've done all season. This has
Well,
been.
besides DFAing and giving up like 2 days
Yeah,
ago.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But like to bring them up and like, okay, you get to play in the major league, get their feet wet, and it gives you something to be excited for now because there's absolutely nothing to look forward to towards the end of the season. So it's like, why not get them ready for next year? Get Yankees fans either excited or scared. Because if they go on a tear like Judge did when he came up, and you're like, okay,
Oh.
then it's like next season you have a reason to do more stuff in the off season and more stuff to look forward to for Yankees fans.
I was wrong. It was Judge and Sanchez in 16, not 17. But
Whatever.
yeah, it, it's a lot of fun, and
See,
I respect it.
me too. I think it's gonna be cool, but I
Uh,
won't watch a Yankees game. I'll watch the highlights.
the Mets are also calling up some of their top prospects. They're gonna have a good young, fun team for September, so that's fun. But yeah, I
Mm.
guess I mean Toronto is like the main one we should talk about because that's why people are here. So
Or
this
they're
is
not here and we're just talking to ourselves. But
yeah,
anyway,
this is the unofficially official report. Is that Chad Green is coming up, which everyone thought was a guarantee, and I
yeah,
think it's Hagen Danner's getting put onto the 60-day IL, so they don't have to DFA anyone, and then they're just
yes,
gonna call up Spencer Horwitz, who's an outfielder slash first baseman. Now, Horwitz is probably the most deserving player. Everyone knew Chad Green was coming up, so you had one spot. You just had one spot, right? And it was just a bat. Spencer Horwitz is definitely the most deserving player. He's already had some playing time this year. But
yeah.
I don't know if it's the right pick. I think based off of the team, there may be something else they could do. Because if you're Toronto, first of all, Espinal fucking sucks. Okay, Espinal, get rid of him. For the love of Christ, get rid of him. He's been here a year too long. Ernie Clement, I love the guy. He's doing great. He's hitting the ball great. I
Yeah.
don't think he's ever going to be an everyday player on the Toronto Blue Jays. He won't be. He's going to be a great platoon guy next year, and that's great. Davis Schneider, if you're the Blue Jays, you're operating. That's next year's opening day second baseman, everyday second baseman. Whit Merrifield might not be a Blue Jay next year. You know who else might not be a Blue Jay next year? And I think the Jays have to really operate on because he's going to cost way too much money for how shitty of a player he is. Matt Chapman. Chappie is not manning the hot corner next year. His agent is Scott Boras. He's going to want minimum 180 to 200 million dollars for basically what he did in April. Not for what he did in the year, but they're gonna be like, look at that April number, and look at the end
Yeah.
of the year. Like it's basically the same. It's not, but that's what they're gonna do. He's gonna cost way too much money, and the Jays just have better routes to go. They actually have two really good infield prospects that are in AAA right now that have an MLB ETA of 2024 in Addison Barger and Elvis Martinez. One of those two idiots is going to be manning the hot corner next year for Toronto. And you know how much time in the MLB they're going to have manning the hot corner for a playoff team? Zero. You know how much time they would have next year if you gave them the September call up and kind of nudged them into the role? You didn't have to throw them in right away in April? A hell of a lot more. But you know what they do? Because it's Toronto and it made sense. When I was talking about this yesterday, I'm like, I know they're going to call up Spencer Horwitz or Nathan Lukes, not Addison Barger or Elvis Martinez,
Yeah.
because they operate on the fact that they think they can keep everyone. You can't. The Yankees can't even keep everyone. The Mets can't keep everyone. The best teams in baseball can't keep everyone. You have to move on. You have to operate like, hey, this guy might not be here next year. And what better time than when Chapman's hurt to bring up a third base prospect like Addison Barger or Elvis Martinez, who should be on this team next year, give them that playing time so that when they suck in April, because they're going to suck in April, it's not like, oh my God, the Blue Jays called up this top prospect and he stinks. You call him up in September and he stinks, it's just whatever, you know? It's like, oh, Barger's not having a great game. Schneider, we're going to throw you there. Biggio, we might throw you there. Espinal, go to the fucking moon, you know? And they can go and work around it. Maybe Barger only plays 4 out of 7 days, right? Or 4 to 6 games of the week. And you give him that playing time. And what if he goes off like Teoscar Hernandez did in 2017? The hype is fun. To me, I don't know about regular Blue Jay fans.
Or like Schneider.
Yeah, but like you got to look at the Orioles. You know what the Orioles did? They called up all of their young guns, and they're the best team in the American League. It's insane. And the Blue Jays are like, they don't want to do that. I don't know if it's the fact that John Schneider's like, I'm not playing anyone who's under 25. That's just not going to happen.
I think
There's an
that's what
age
it is.
requirement, but it's frustrating because one of those guys is manning the hot corner next year, or should be, and they're going to have no experience doing it, and they're going to be expected to be as good as Chapman, which I think is unfair to begin with. And it's just, you need one of those guys up because it makes sense. And for me, like the hype for me surrounding one of Addison Barger or Elvis Martinez is the like level of hype that I had when Vladdy and Bo were coming up. Like I am so high on these guys. I think they're going to be so good. Seeing that name Addison Barger penciled in at third base, or wherever, whoever it is, if it's Elvis Martinez next year, I'm going to be so beyond hype. I don't know what the normal fan level hype is for these guys, but I need them up. I was looking forward to that. I was sitting today going, man, imagine on Friday, Addison Barger's the third baseman for the Toronto
Barger,
Blue
yeah.
Jays. And I was like, fuck, I need it so goddamn bad. And I didn't get it. I still think Spencer Horwitz is the most deserving player. Maybe Espinal can get the punt out. Maybe they're like, get out of here, you know?
And we
go
don't
to
need him.
go to AAA for a little bit. We're gonna give our time to Addison Barger or Elvis Martinez. But yeah, there's my 40-man rant.
Hey, that wasn't 40 minutes, but I appreciate it because you're right. I think they're stuck in the past. I
Yeah.
think they're like, we paid Matt Chapman this amount of money, and he's been good for what we expected coming into the year. No, you say it all the time. It's only because he started the year like the best player in baseball. He has been
If
atrocious
if you get rid of Matt Chapman's April, he's hitting probably 220. I'm just gonna tell you that right now.
with like probably 4 or 5 home runs, and he's not driving in anybody. It's not always about like home runs and runs batted in. It's how you affect the team. And even he's making errors that he wasn't making before. So I agree. He's like not reliable in the sense that he's pretty much always injured. Like he's been injured a lot more this year than I expected him to. So I agree, especially with Espinal. Like why he's a platoon guy. Just call one of them up, send SB down. We don't need him. Like so
Espin's
what?
terrible.
Yeah, if we play, you know, these guys at the end of they could close out our order 8-9, you
Yeah.
know, and who
Well,
cares?
seven, probably
It's
7-8, but yeah.
yeah, even if they're shit, like it's not like Espinal or Matt Chapman are doing much for this team anyway at the time of
Chappie at
recording.
home in Rogers Center's hitting 229. On the road, he's hitting 264.
Yeah.
Just something to throw out. In April and March, Matt Chapman hit 384, 465 on base percentages in 27 games. In May, he hit 202. Okay?
Hmm.
In June, he hit 200. In July, he hit 247. In August, he hit 197. So, I love to do my little stats. We're going to calculate what his average would be if we get rid of March/April, where he was Ted frickin' Williams.
Williams, yeah.
202 plus 200 plus 0.247 plus.
This is where he adds them up and then divides them so he gets an average. So just give him a second. But
Matt Chapman on the
oh
season,
oh oh
get rid of April and March, is hitting worse than what I guessed. I guessed 220. DJ, what's your guess?
don't I'll say 206.
A little bit better. He's hitting 212.
Oh my god.
212.
I want to see his
212.
just all his stats.
He had 21 RBIs in April and March, or March, April. He hasn't had over 9. Sorry, he hasn't had over 8. 8's been his
Ugh.
highest since then. He
What's
has
his
been the worst player on the team since the beginning of May. Just the worst.
well, Espinal, but
I,
I'd even
he's been the
compare
worst
that.
everyday player. I think he's been worse than Varsho if you get rid of
I would like to see his OPS plus since then
his
without that
OPS
bunch.
plus in April and March. April was 215. It was 61 in May, 74 in June, 146 in July,
61.
and 45 in
45? Oh my
August.
god. Damn. So he's like well under average. Yeah, I think you're right.
I
But
don't
they
know
were
who.
never gonna call up um either of those guys.
No, they weren't because it made sense. The Jays don't make moves that make sense,
No.
and this is one of
Safe
them.
plays. They make safe plays. That's
And
what they do. This they don't risk.
that's what Spencer Horwitz is. He's a safe play. He's got major league action, but it's. I think it's gonna be hard to find this guy playing time because you called up him, and he's a position that we don't need a lot of. We don't need a lot of
No.
left fielders, right fielders. You got Varsho and Springer and Merrifield and Kiermaier out there. We don't need an outfielder. Guess what we do need? We need someone to play third base or who can play shortstop because we don't have that. We might have it in Ernie Clement. You can't have Kevin Biggio playing anywhere shortstop.
Yeah.
When I saw the fact that they were having Vladdy take ground balls at third base, I was like, so you don't want to win baseball games. They moved Vladdy off of third base. A, because he was fat. B, because he just sucked at third base. He
Yeah.
was not a defensively competent third baseman in the big leagues.
But
And
now
because
you
he
can
lost 20
remember.
pounds doesn't mean he is now. So,
No. And I think he's actually fit well at first base. Like,
yeah.
sure, he's not always the best, but he's shown to be a reliable, way better than when he was at third base. Like, I don't know what they what they were doing with him at third base in the first place, but yeah, I don't think you move Vladdy. That's just desperation at that point. I don't know what they're trying.
If you move Vladdy, I don't know. There's a lot of signs of instead of go, it's give up. You're giving
Mhm.
up Mason McCoy. Man, I had to look up who the hell this guy was. I thought they called up like Joe Random from MLB The Show to come play some
It's
baseball
Joe
games.
Rando.
I saw Bo Bichette hurt Mason McCoy brought up, and I was like, fucking who? Who did they call up? I had to Google this man's name. It was on page 7. No, it wasn't. It wasn't on page 7. But I was like, no one knows who this guy is. He's hitting 182. Turns out we got him from Seattle for Trent Thornton. And I was like, hey, you know who isn't hitting 182 and can play in the infield and is a pretty damn good prospect? Or Elvis Martinez or Addison Barger, Who else have we been
Yeah.
begging to call up since like the beginning of August? Is those two, and I don't get it, man.
Yeah, I
I
think they're
don't get it.
ready. I think they're ready to at least play in the, you know, do what they did with I'm having a brain fart. Schneider.
Schneid's.
Like look what's happened.
Yeah,
We're the worst offense in the league, and he's basically carrying us because they finally took a risk
yeah,
to call someone up, and they're
it's been
giving him
great.
a chance. And so what? It doesn't work. Who cares? They're young. We took a risk, but we're not. There's no like risk in it when Matt Chapman and the other guys are not performing. It's
There's
like
well, there's.
I don't know.
I would rather say, hey, Matt Chapman and Boba they got hurt. We did our best trying to replace him with what we have. They didn't. Okay?
And getting our future ready too.
Mason
Not
McCoy, the 29-year-old player who's never touched a baseball field in the majors, who's in under less than what he weighs, is not trying your best.
yeah.
It's
That's
just
just
not.
filling in a gap. It's like desperate. They're like, okay, it's fine. It doesn't matter.
It's
Like I don't know.
pathetic.
They don't look at their depth charts at all. They don't
No, it's
use their
sad.
minor league system. I think they're stuck in that Bo and Vladdy era. Like, okay, these are the only two players that matter to us,
And I
and
like you know what
they're
I get that, right?
Mhm.
But when you need someone to come up and replace them, no disrespect to Ernie Clement or Mason McCoy, it's not them.
No.
It is these two guys. And when surface time doesn't matter anymore, guess what? Play the fuckers.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I agree fully, but there's only so much we can do because it's clear, like, to see what they're doing with this team now. I understand it, but at the same time, I don't. Like, I understand what they're going to do. They're going to, stick to the vanilla moves. The stuff that you could see coming from a mile away. You're like, okay, that's solid, but it's not going to be like, they're not going to make a move that wins us the pennant tomorrow. They're not going to make a
no.
move that makes any huge difference. It's like, okay, we know the Spencer's going to be good, so he's reliable.
Yeah,
But there's
well,
no like hit
yeah.
or miss with him.
And like if Spencer Horwitz goes off, we're not talking about this in a week, right? Like if he has a Davis Schneider esque week, no one's talking about it. Hell, even if he has a
Yeah,
Teoscar esque week when Teoscar came up, no one's talking about this. But
yeah,
if he struggles and a guy like Barger or Elvis Martinez, who people had higher on this list to call up, continue to rake in AAA and have another great week like they've been kind of having the last few weeks, a lot of people are going to question the move, and it sucks.
well, only because there's more upside with those two.
Yeah,
I think that's what it is.
like that's like calling up Gunnar Henderson and um, I don't want to say Adley because it's not Adley, but like that
I was
esque
about to
guys,
say,
right? Like I'm trying to think of
yeah,
another infielder they've called up, but I just don't got it right now.
yeah.
But that's like kind of what it
Oh,
is. Like that's the type of move it is. It's not like they aren't going to win the division, and this move doesn't impact them making the division, but this move could impact them into making the playoffs. These
yeah,
guys, the youth swing, the dudes and that who are around, Vladdy, he might take it as like, oh, shit, like I gotta show these guys kind of who I am. Let's get going, and maybe it's a
yeah.
spark to the lineup. So yeah, I've been looking at Davis Schneider's baseball reference, and so I
Oh my
went through
God.
his. It's so good, by the way, but I went through his what is it? His projections. If he were to play 162 baseball games,
This is okay. Before he does this, this is super unrealistic, and he's not going to be this good for his whole career. I'm
but
just saying. Okay.
15 years 450 sounds pretty good for a guy whose projection, his pace,
Yeah.
is to hit 426 over
Mm.
162 games, or like around there, with 70 home runs and
Uh-huh.
162 RBIs.
Aaron Judge, who? Barry Bonds, who?
That is the
Barry Bonds,
greatest
who?
baseball player ever.
Okay, not to mention, have you been watching the games? I figured you're
Yeah.
always at
I
work. Do
try
you
and watch the
watch
games.
them?
I make sure to watch Schneider at bats because I know he struggled with high fastballs, and then he fixed it all of a sudden, and he's become
Yeah.
God again, and it's great. I'm like, yeah,
Even when he hit the two doubles, like they were at the top of the wall. Like
man,
he could
dude,
have
every time.
two, three more home runs than he has.
Oh, I know. Every time I see Schneider up, I just assume we're gonna get a hit or something's gonna happen, and he usually does.
His approach is so good. He's not trying to do too
And
much.
he's
He
so
literally,
small.
yeah, he doesn't swing at stuff that he knows he can't hit. His approach, it's like if you took Brandon Belt right now, okay, Brandon Belt, good at one of the best eyes in the majors,
And give
sixth.
him Vladdy 2021 power.
Yeah, or even like yeah, like I was gonna say Bo because of the average and hitting and the approach, but yeah,
It's 2023 Bo with 2021 Vlad.
yeah, and
It's
Belt
and
like he
Belt with the
walks like
walks.
yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah, I need to find a Babe Schneider shirt or something like that, or just like the big old mustache
Ah,
to wear to the games.
yeah, I see all the mustaches
I
in
might
the
have to.
arena now. It's funny.
From here on out, maybe I just don't shave. Just
Yeah,
grow a tiny
yeah,
little ugly mustache. Be like,
yeah.
"Here,
I might.
this is for you."
Yeah, this is for you. We need to start doing it. When I go to Toronto next, he'll be
Can you
an
sign my
all-star.
mustache?
When we should talk about that. We don't have to talk about it right now, but I want Toronto to get an all-star game
I think they get
soon.
one. I think they get one. I think the renovations
Not
are
next
huge.
year.
No. Well,
Uh,
next year. Where's next year?
it's gonna be NL, right? Because the AL's had it for 3 straight years.
That doesn't really do anything. The NL had it last year, dog. It was the Dodgers
Did they?
last year, and then it was the Rockies
Oh
the year
yeah.
before that, and then it was Cleveland before that. No, but
Oh,
they don't really
what was it?
do that. I think next year's
NL,
in
AL doesn't matter.
Philly. No, they just kind of go wherever now. It used to be
Hmm.
ALNL, but they don't
Yeah,
care. I think it's in Philly though next year.
I don't know. I think we should get it
2024
after Philly.
MLB All Star Game. Oh, it's in Texas. Well, that's ugly.
That's a boring. What a fucking horrible stadium.
And then 2025 is to be determined. And I think that's the
Toronto.
one where they expect Toronto or like I think it's Chicago with the all Cubs
If
to get one.
there's one in Toronto, I'm going to
Oh,
it
same. I
100%.
have to.
Yeah. I don't think there's a situation where I don't end up going.
Fuck whatever the tickets are gonna be.
Yeah. We'll
Uh,
split a hotel. We'll make sure to.
yeah, just one bed.
Did they still have? They definitely
Dude,
do.
the hotels in Rogers Center are like a grand by themselves. You add All Star Game, it's like 5 grand.
Yeah, I don't know how much we spent when I went there. It was sick. I remember going there. I
Oh, they're
think
sick.
I've told you this, but right when I got there, I didn't even know there was a game because the time change is crazy. So it was like 7 p.m. and like my mom's like, I don't think there's a game tonight. I went upstairs to Jose Bautista hitting a home run. I swear to God, it was the craziest thing.
Like
I
ah,
look, I looked out the window and it was like he was rounding the bases. I was like, this is the greatest day of my life.
I've died. I've gone to heaven.
I'd love to see them now because I'm sure they've upgraded them.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. So
Should we recap? Whoa, not recap.
recap
Recap the crappy week.
the crappy week. Indeed, we shall. We started so good. Okay, we started so good against Baltimore. Wait, what? We started against Baltimore this week. Was that this week? Or am I fucking
Cleveland, dog.
tweaking? Oh, it was
It
Cleveland.
started terribly. The Guardians come to town. DJ 6-0 record is on the line. This is what he's predicting for the week. What does Toronto do? I don't remember. They just lost. I don't think I watched the game. I didn't. I was
If
definitely
I
out.
s- if I see the scores, I'll know what happened.
But the Jays lose. I think was this the extra innings game? No, this wasn't the extra inning game. Sunday was the extra innings game. Saturday,
I'll
the Jays bounce back. They win something to something. They beat Cleveland, and everyone's like, "Wow, the season's back on." They then promptly blow it in extras to Cleveland on Sunday. Washington comes to town. They beat Washington. Barely, barely beat Washington, I think. And
Well, wait.
then Tuesday,
So we.
they
Huh.
lose to Washington by a lot. No, Tuesday they barely lost. They came back. Wednesday, they kick some butt. 3-3 on the week. I had 5-1. DJ had 6-0. This is the happiest we've been on 3-3, but it's the most disappointing week ever. They go to Colorado for 3, and then they go to Oakland for 3. So yeah,
Yes.
thoughts on the
Okay.
week?
Now I remember that. Like, okay, you know why? It's because I was watching the last Baltimore game as we were filming the last episode. So I feel like that's where
Uh,
the crossover happened.
yeah.
But yeah, Guardians. That first game was I didn't even want to watch. It was so annoying. Barrios was pretty good, um, but
This
he
was
let 2 home runs in. I thought.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I watched 3 baseball games this week, and 2 of them were Washington. I only finished 2 baseball games, and that was the 2 games we won.
Wait, this might have
So I
been
can't really
who
tell
was.
you. But Cleveland, I know Cleveland won game 1, the Jays won game
Yeah.
2, Cleveland won game 3. They just went back and forth. It was a 1-1 every time. They didn't get on a roll. They didn't get on a stretch. They're going to Colorado and they're going to Oakland. They have to get on a stretch. They have to get on a roll. Texas has been struggling. The other ones aren't, but Texas struggles, and Texas struggling is like the greatest thing ever. It's like sweet joy. Um,
Well, the
yeah,
Rockies, the Athletics, and then the Royals. I mean,
yeah, but
if we
it's
are
this
up,
week. This week before the next podcast, I don't think we play the Royals.
we don't play the Royals, but I'm saying
Oh, you can't
upcoming.
look too far ahead.
No, 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 no. We should win the next 3 series easily.
4,
Okay, but Texas is not going to be easy.
4.
Okay, fine. Have 4. I mean, and then we need to beat Boston, and then
So there's 5.
yeah, we won't look that far.
Yeah. So our predictions for Blue Jay of the week. Um, I had Bo Bichette.
Wait, are
Little did
we?
I know, Bo Bichette died
Yeah, back
in
on the
what was
IL.
it, game 3 of the Cleveland series? So there goes my prediction. You had Chris Bassett. That was a pretty good one. I think he's an honorable mention this week. He pitched a hell of a game. Hound on the
He
mound.
had he had oh, he was the first starter of the week against the Guardians. Had like a pretty like subpar start, but then the second one was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
but I wouldn't give him Blue Jay of
I
the
gave
week.
him honorable mention for his start on Wednesday. My Blue Jay of
Yeah,
the week is Davis Schneider. I think that's what we kind of agreed upon. You agreed with that.
yeah,
Our Blue
yeah.
Jay of the week is Davis Schneider,
He's
who
been nasty.
I didn't really look at his numbers, but he just kicked ass. Every time I turned on the TV, he was getting a hit. So must hit 1,000 this week. The fact that he's still
Yeah,
hitting 400 is insane.
I know, and his home runs haven't stopped,
Yeah.
or the runs batted in. I think he's got 13 or 14 now, and in 13 or 14 games, it's like this guy is absolutely raking. And knowing the Blue Jays, they're gonna take him as the lineup because he has one bad game, and then we'll never see him again. But hopefully not.
Okay. Looking at ahead. So
Hmm.
Colorado, we start with Ryu, then it's Kikuchi, then it's Gosman, and then it's
Are
Barrios
these
and
at
Oakland,
home?
Bassett. No, this is out west. So these are late games. Um,
Oh, that's I should have just looked at the time. Fudge.
but I don't know. I mean, do you want me to throw out my prediction for the week? Because I can throw it out, and I don't think it's unfair at all.
Do we have any starters starting twice this week?
Ryu starts twice.
Ryu's a fucking beauty. Can we talk about Ryu?
If you
He's
want
been
to talk
through
about
so
Ryu,
much. He's been killing it. His stuff looks the exact same. Yeah, he gives up a little bit of power numbers. He gives up his a little bit of home runs, but he has been solid. Like he hasn't left. He's back into Ryu. like of old, man. This guy's so good. I don't I didn't expect him to be as good as he's doing right now.
Thank God he
But
is, because God, Manoa sucks. But
yeah.
I
Yeah.
think one person we need to talk about, I don't see getting talked about enough, Bowden Francis.
Mm.
The
Yeah.
Jays tapped into something in that man, and oh baby, is it sweet. He
He pitched 3 innings, didn't he?
yeah,
Like 2 days ago.
he was a part of the Rowdy Tellez trade, so it was him and Richards who came over. And obviously, everyone kind of looked at Richards
Mhm.
as the main piece because Bowden was supposed to be kind of like a guy. Maybe he could do something, but like, don't
Yeah.
hold your breath. He's got a 1.74 ERA this year in 16 games. In his career, he has a 1.71 ERA. That's 17 games because he pitched one game last year in Toronto.
Yeah.
And he's just insane. I don't understand it. I don't know what it is. This dude, he's a dog. He's kind of effectively been
Un-
what Mitch White or Yusei Kikuchi are supposed to be this year in the bullpen. You know, like mop
mm.
guy, cleanup guy, length man if we have some bad starts. And he's thrived in that role. He
No one sees it though.
he could almost be in line as a potential, bubble starter next year, depending on what Manoa does.
A bubble starter, hey?
Uh,
That's a
sixth
bold thing.
sixth man, long
Yeah.
man in the bullpen. That could be him next year. I like him. I'm a huge fan of Bowden Francis. I'm on the I'm on the Bow train.
That's a big statement. Like a bubble starter? I mean it makes sense. Obviously, if Manoa's trash and our bullpen is so good that we could afford to be like, hey, let's give
Yeah,
him a few. Like,
and it
if it's
might.
a bullpen day, start him, give him 3, 4, 5 innings, and then see where it
I
goes.
wouldn't be shocked if in spring training they stretch him out a little bit. I think he was drafted as a starter, and I think he either started some games this year or he did bullpen games or he pitched 3 innings. He was pretty good. So
Yeah.
I kind of want to see it. I wouldn't be against it.
Our
Uh,
bullpen's been so nasty, and everyone goes unnoticed when you don't. Like, you don't
Henny
realize how good they've been.
Henny Cabrera tied
Oh my God.
Joaquin Benoit as the only Blue Jays to go 18 scoreless innings in their first 18 innings as a Blue Jay.
He's so fucking nasty, dog.
Dog is so good. Love
Yeah.
him.
He doesn't get talked enough at all.
Um, but predictions for the week, Teach?
Are we going player first or are we
I
going
went team.
record
I
first?
got my team prediction ready. So
Hmm. I want to say you go first. You go first. You go first.
okay. Colorado,
Mhm.
Oakland, 6 games, six
Six
and
and zero.
zero.
6-0. I think we could both say that with our chests out. 6-0.
6-0.
Not only should it be, it needs to be.
Six and
That's
zero.
just
The Toronto Blue Jays. I'm, dude. I'm listening to hype up music every day. The Toronto Blue Jays are gonna go 6-0. We're gonna have a September to remember. That's the motto. September to
it.
remember.
Okay, you know what we should do? I know it's looking ahead and we can do our weekly shit, but I think we haven't started September. Why don't we? This is the most important like month of the
You
year.
want to
I
just
think
go
we do
through what I?
September preview. Holy shit.
Okay.
That's what we should do. Cuz I mean, this is our season depends on it and it's very important. I feel like it's a good activity to do. Uh,
Okay. I think I did something similar to this. I'm not sure. Uh, uh, something else, and what I predicted the Blue Jays record to be the rest of the way.
oh,
This was middle August, I think. This was with 37 games remaining. This was just before the Baltimore series. I had them finishing at a 93 and 69 record. But
what's
that
our
was
record right now?
not that. But that was also predicting taking 2 or 3 from Cleveland and sweeping Washington.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you had that.
So,
Mhm.
um, in September, Toronto, we start off in Colorado, then we go to Oakland, and then the Royals come to town for 3. And then it gets serious. This is where shit hits the fan. Time to put on the big boy pants. Do or die. What are you made of? The Texas Rangers come to town for 4. That's the season. That the
Yes.
season dies or survives that this series. The Jays are only 2.5 back from Texas. They have 9 games to make up. 2 games, and they have the shittiest teams to play against. They
Yeah.
should easily make up 2 games against Texas. I wouldn't be shocked if they go into this Texas series tied for that 6th wild card spot. If you take 3 of 4, you have to. Sorry, not if. When? Because you
When?
have to take 3 of 4 against Texas. You have positioned yourself in a great spot. Then you have to take 2 of 3 from Boston, and then when you play the Yankees and the Rays, you can afford to take 1 of 3 against the Rays in the first
Hopefully
weekend.
not.
In the first weekend, when they're in
Oh,
Tampa
okay.
Bay, when you
Yeah,
go to the
yeah,
Trop, you can afford 1 of 3 if you take 2 of 3
yeah.
from the Yankees. You have to win. Sorry, I'm gonna make this short and sweet. Win every series. You want to make the playoffs? Win every series.
I mean, yeah, that's just what it comes down to is if you're built for October, you win down the stretch.
Yeah.
September, you don't have an excuse. You can't rely on the Rangers to keep losing. You can't rely on, the Mariners to fall off. You literally have to win every game you can. And for me, over the next 9 games, the 3 shitty series that we have coming up, minimum 7-2 it has to be.
Oh, really? My minimum's 9-0.
I wasn't being that harsh. I think 7-2. 7-2 is minimum. Obviously, 9-0 is
I think
should
you.
be.
I think the worst 8-1. That is the worst 8-1. No, don't laugh. Do you want to make the playoffs or no?
I know. I think you're right. I think you're right. But I'm
in a
being
9 game
realistic with
stretch,
this team.
in a 9 game stretch where you play 3 lottery teams that are tanking, if you're losing 2 games, fucking end the season. Like, pack it in, go home.
But that's what I'm saying. But like that's the minimum. I'm saying like if we took 7 out of 9, I would be like, it's kind of hurts my chest, but I can live with it. Anything above that, I'm mad at. That's just how it is. Texas is going to be the biggest series of
That's gonna be a playoff
the
series.
season.
45,000 every night. I guarantee it. That final week
Yeah.
against the Yankees and the Rays, if if the Texas series goes good, that's gonna be such a fun week because that's gonna be a week that they clinch the playoffs.
Mhm.
If everything goes to plan, and I'm so fucking excited, dog.
The last 3-4 weeks are going to be terrifying
Oh my god, I'm
because
gonna drink.
we have to play the AL East the whole rest of this season
Dude,
after.
after
I
Kansas
mean,
City, like my heart rate, I
yeah.
might lose 10 years of my life. I remember 2021, like
Uh,
sitting there when you were fighting for the playoff spots, and every game was like, I remember like the final Yankee series, when they started, it was Garrett Cole, and it was like Springer double, Simeon home run. I was like, holy fucking shit, we're winning the World Series. And then we promptly blew the game and barely won it in the 9th inning, and everything died.
it's very simple.
But that's just kind of the story of being a Blue Jays fan.
Yeah. No, it is. It's been like this since I was alive. Well, no, actually, that's scrap that. We were trash, obviously, but
Hold the phone. It's
it,
been like that for the last 3 years.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, no, since 2015 gave us hope. So
Yeah, no, but 2015 wasn't like painful. Well, I guess it was in the
yeah,
first half. 2016 was
yeah.
painful, actually. 2016 was painful because we expected more.
Mhm.
2017 was heartbreaking because it was
Yeah.
so unexpected. And then 2018 and 2019 was just kind of like, whatever.
Yeah, and then 2020, you're happy.
2020, I
Like
was
you're
like,
like,
yeah, we made the playoffs. Wouldn't
yeah,
have been
we're
a
gonna be
normal year.
so good. I'm like, we're gonna be so
Dude,
good.
I was like, we're going to upset Tampa Bay. I had convinced myself. I
Yeah,
had
me
gone
too,
so far into
actually.
my mind. I was like, we're going to start Matt Shoemaker. Or no, we're not going to. We're going to start Taiwan Walker game 2. And it's going to be Ryu game 1. Or we're going to do Taiwan Walker game 1, Ryu game 2. Ryu's going to dominate game 2. all you got to do is scrape a run or two across in game one, and you could win that game because Tywin Walker's a dog. And then they started Matt Shoemaker, and I was like, the fuck? And then they took him out. And then they took him out, and it cost them the season.
He was so
Dude,
good. He
I
was
was
so good. Hey, I
I
forgot about that guy.
2020 wildcard game day one was the greatest day of my life. The greatest day of my life. 8 baseball games. I didn't have to work.
That
I
was
got, dude, I
nasty.
had coffee. I had bought lunch. I had sushi and sandwiches. And from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., I watched baseball. But the last 3 hours I didn't enjoy. So it was like, we started, it was Reds Braves. And I was like, fuck yeah, this is sick. And then we started, it was an AL team. I think it was Twins Houston. And I was like, okay, here we go. And then it was Blue Jays Rays. And it was like, okay, this is good. This is good. It's the eighth inning. We're losing. And then
Yeah.
I was like ready to die. And I was like watching LA and Milwaukee. And I was like, yeah, go team.
Milwaukee's so boring to watch.
And then game two of the wild card series happened.
You wanted to cry, yeah.
Dude,
It
I
was
don't
so,
think I finished it. I actually genuinely think I turned the game off when it was like 9. I just gave up. I was like,
the
hey,
only
Ryu
person
sucks.
that was the only player that was playing good was Danny
Danny
Jansen.
Jansen with the 2 home runs. I think Danny Jansen has the most playoff home runs on this Blue Jays roster. As like
He's actually
active Blue Jays. Let me rephrase that.
he's actually been there for us this season, and he's bumped his stock up immensely. So like, I
Like
don't care about
as
his
a
average.
Blue Jay, I think Danny Jansen has the most playoff home runs. Obviously Springer has the most, but
Yeah.
like as a Blue Jay, I don't think Springer has any. Actually.
I don't think I've seen him hit a home run in the playoffs, but I could be wrong.
Well, let's hope this year. I need playoffs, man.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, if
I
we don't make the playoffs, this is one of the most disappointing seasons I've ever watched.
I said it and I say it every time, but I said in 2021 when that heartbreaking when I saw Devers hit that home run, a huge part of my soul died. Like I don't think I've been happy since then. Like I died that day. And I was sitting there in like the fetal position. I was like, I don't know if I can do another 162. Like that was so mentally draining. I don't know if I can do another 162. And then I did it and we made the playoffs and then we lost and I was like, I don't know if I can do this again. Like I just don't know if I can do this again. And we're about to do it and I can guarantee you in October I'm going to be sitting there going, I don't
Oh
know if I
yeah,
can do this again. Like
yeah,
whether it's the end of October 1st when the Jays season comes to an end against Tampa Bay or if it's in the playoffs when they're eliminated, if they're eliminated when they make the playoffs, I'll be sitting there and be like,
just fixing his words.
I don't know if I can do this. I don't know
No,
if I can
it's
do this.
I've said this multiple times. It's literally a toxic relationship. It is. This team is a toxic relationship. Whether I trash talk them, whether I look at my camera and say, Vlada, you fucking suck and you're a fat piece of shit, I'll still be there the next week.
Yeah,
It
I'll be
just
there the next
is what
day.
it-
The
Yeah,
Toronto Blue Jays
seriously.
are a walking red flag, and I've spray painted it green.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like, uh,
No, we're holding it down. We're like,
yeah.
like it's fighting us, but we're like fucking holding that shit over its head,
They're like, hey,
making that shit
this
green.
is you. Yeah,
Okay,
it's
back to what we were saying.
it's
We have
just
29 games till the
sad.
rest of the season is over. 29. What's our record?
29. Okay, so we're counting Colorado. So I'm saying 6-0. Okay, 6-0 against Colorado in
Yeah.
Oakland. I think we drop game one against Kansas City because that just probably makes the most sense. And then they take the next two, so we're at 8-1. 8-1 before Texas comes to town.
Uh.
Don't do that.
No,
Don't just go. Oh, like what? Do you not believe in me, dog?
it's not you. losing faith in, you know?
You sounded like, oh, you're like, I don't have that. It was like,
Oh man. Ugh.
it was like, it's like, oh, what'd you get on the test? Like, oh, I got 28. Oh, that was you.
uh, okay, well, I think we go 6-0. I think we run into the I almost said the Oilers for some reason. The Royals, right? The Oilers of the baseball world. Just kidding. And we lose game three. If we lose a game, it's going to be game three because that's Blue Jays doing their best. We're like, oh, we're killing it. We're doing our thing. Nothing can stop us. The Royals fucking pummel us. So when we go to play Texas, you and me are both depressed and we're like, we're fucking finished against
Oh, see, I'm thinking the
Texas.
opposite. So
Mm,
we both have 8-1, but I think they get stopped by the Royals. I almost said the
mm.
Oilers, and then the
Yeah.
Orioles. I think they get stopped by the Royals in game one, and we're kind of going like, "The fuck is this? The season's over." Pissed. They
Mm.
then scrape out the next two games, and we're going into the Texas series, and we're like, "This is it. This is our time. This is when it is." Lose game one to Texas, and
Yeah, I think
everyone
game
in
one
Toronto
again.
dies. The city,
Mm,
the lights turn off. Like the lights are off. The season's over. We don't know what to
podcast
do.
over.
The Jays win
Mm,
the next two.
mm,
That puts them at 10-2 going into the
mm,
final game. Everyone's like,
mm.
okay, riding a little high. Going into Boston. Everyone's like, okay, we have to do this. And they sneak out game four with a walk-off win. Game four against
Oh,
Texas is a walk-off win in the
oh
10th
my
inning
goodness.
with Vladdy coming through. Vladdy wakes the hell up. He becomes Jose Bautista
Wow.
2.0 against them. Puts
Wow.
them to sleep. 11-2 going into the Boston series.
11-2. I like that. That's what I was going to say. I think that's what we need.
But
But
what
I
do
think
you think?
I agree. I not fully, like not the
Okay, let's
situation.
hear your predictions, man.
Well, I like I said, the Royals, they absolutely destroy our hearts and they beat us 6-1 heading into the Rangers series. We're like, oh, here we go again. We got our hopes up. It's over. The season's over. We get destroyed by Texas in the first game of the
Oh
season or
yeah, the
series.
series. It's
Yeah.
blowout,
It
like
yeah,
7-1.
yeah. Yeah. We get absolutely trashed and we're
They
like
dog walk us.
it's like, well, okay, but our pitching's not too bad. Like we give up 6 runs, but we're like, okay, this is looking like the Blue Jays of August, and they're not getting anything with the bats going. So that's how that's gonna go. But then we come back. We have a good game too. We have a solid game too. A great start by Gosman or one of our guys. We win the game 4-2. Okay, we pick up the momentum. Game three is an absolute slaughterhouse. We're like fucking. We just kill them. It's like the game we've been waiting for all season long. Vladdy has 2 home runs, and everyone's healthy. Bo's back in the lineup doing his thing. It's the first game that we've seen all year where Bo and Vladdy both have an insane game. We crush them. I think game four we sneak it out, but I think if we were to only be losing 2 games this month up till this point, we live stream that game on that Thursday instead
Instead
of
of
doing
the
the podcast.
podcast.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay,
I think
so
that's
you
what we do.
predict 11-2 going into Boston?
11-2, and we're gonna win the last game 4-3 with an RBI base hit by Danny Jansen in the 8th inning.
Okay, going into Boston, or I guess Boston coming to town. We're riding high. Life's good.
Mm.
The Toronto Blue Jays, they have a 2-game lead on Texas for that final playoff spot. All looks well in the world. Slaughtered by Boston game one.
Ooh.
Slaughtered. Not even funny. Like laughable.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's like, season's over. Texas wins. Game separates us and Texas. Everyone's like, this sucks. We hold the tiebreaker, but it doesn't matter because the season's over. They struggle game two against Boston and they lose it in the ninth 3-2. They then slaughter Boston to salvage game 3. They go 1-2 against Boston. That throws them for me at 12-4.
Crazy because people are gonna think I'm making this up, but I had not the exact same thing, but the exact same record. I think we go in with our like we're so gassed again. We're like, yo, we're doing it. We're doing our shit up to on Texas, or at least we're like right there with Texas. I don't know how their schedule looks, so it all depends. Because they're not going
I
to be
can pull
bad
that
like
up
they
real
are.
quick.
They're
I
not going to be bad forever like they have been.
no.
Um,
Um,
so so I think we're like tied, or at least maybe one game back. We beat Boston in the first game. It's competitive, but we win 7-3. The bats are coming alive. And then game two comes and we lose 2-1. We lose the mid game. That's what I got.
okay.
2-1. And then I think we lose. We lose on Sunday as well. I think we lose 7-5. I think the bats get going and we're like, okay. But then Boston just tears us apart because we suck against the AL East.
Okay. I like it. So just before we go into the Yankee series, Texas plays Minnesota this weekend.
Mm.
Then they play
Big
Houston.
series.
Then they play Houston. That's a huge
That's
series.
huge too.
Then
Yeah.
it's Oakland, and then it's us for
Mhm.
4. Then it's Cleveland for 3. Then it's Boston for 3. Then it's Seattle, LA, Seattle, like the Angels.
Wow.
Yeah, they have a really
Oh,
shitty end of the year. But so do we.
Seattle's gonna be huge.
Yeah, that's their division. So
Yeah.
going in the Yankee series,
Mm.
what are the
I think
Yankees?
we'll
What's the
be.
Yankees' record right now? They still under 5?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay, we lose game 1.
Okay.
Lose game 1.
So we're on a 3 game scale. Oh no, I
No, no,
guess
no.
against. Yeah. No,
For
we.
me, for
No.
you, you're on a 3-game skid. For me, we're on a
Mm.
1-game skid, which is
Mm.
just nothing. Everything's kind of looking bad. Bob Nightingale tweeted after the Texas series that we're doing good. We've been cursed. That's why we struggled against Boston. We've lost game 1 against New York. Life sucks. It's Bob
Yeah.
Nightingale's fault. After game 1 against the Yankees, he tweets out, Jay's struggling a little bit, potentially could lose ground to the Rangers in the wild card spot. Wild card race 1 to watch for sure. The Jays slap out the next 2 games convincingly, make New
Mm.
York their bitch, and
Itch.
they're
Yep.
14-5. This is just never gonna happen.
This is the yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's so hard to sit here and say like we're gonna destroy these teams because like I said a million times, we just fucking suck at baseball against our
The season's over.
division. No, no. I said this is a happy podcast today.
Doing this just makes me realize this won't happen. If this happens, this podcast
Yeah,
will never see us any happier. But it's
yeah,
fine.
and we're that's a short. We're clipping that shit. I'm not gonna go the same as you. I think Um, same kind of deal. We just slaughter the Yankees. We wake up. Their season's over. They've got their rookies playing, and Aaron Judge, uh, he's their only guy that could get anything going. So I'm saying we either sweep them or Judge steals the game from us. But I'll just say 3-0 just to be different. Yeah, I think we sweep the Yankees, and that's where the season is like saved in New York. I think we save our season. Or is that in Toronto? What's that one?
No, that's in
Oh,
New York.
yeah, that's in New York. That's in New York. Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully, Noah Adler's there too, so he can
We
watch
uh
his team get swept.
we go to Tampa Bay. We go to the Trop.
Yes, that's scary.
My prediction makes me want to cry.
You can't.
I well, my original one. I'm changing from my original one. It's a gut feeling. But I okay. I'm flipping a coin on my phone. Okay, heads. Heads is option A. Tails is option B. Hey Siri. Hey Siri. Flip a flip a coin. Heads and tails. Heads is A, tails is B.
One moment.
You're not sure you understand? Hey Siri, flip a coin.
It's heads.
Siri said it
Oh,
was heads.
so what's the outcome?
3 heartbreaking losses in a
Oh,
row. 2 of them walk-offs. 1 lost in the 8th.
wow. You're actually gonna make me cry here on
The
camera,
season
or like,
the season comes to a halt. It's 14-8, going back to Toronto,
wait, okay, okay.
where they need to win 5 of 6.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah, the best case scenario going to the Trop is 1-2. It just is. We can't win there. But I'm
So
gonna be Mr. Optimistic. I think we get slaughtered game one. Slaughtered game one. It's a very, very close game. I don't think we get slaughtered in either games, but it'll be like 6-4. You know, we start battling back. We get it close, but they were up like convincingly at the start. That we start building it back, and we lose 6-4. And then game two will be even more painful. It'll be I don't know if that lines up, but I think Barrios will be on the mound. He'll have a stellar game, but one of those games that he gives up 2 home runs, and we'll lose 3-2. And then best case scenario, this is what I see happening. I hope happens. Sorry, is Toronto has a statement game on Sunday, September 24th, and we close the series out with a W in the afternoon.
you have a 16-5 record. I have
Yeah.
a 14-8. That's not making sense.
No, I only have one more win than you.
You're 15?
Should be 15, yeah.
So it should be
I
15 and
think, right?
6 then.
Is it? Wait. Because I
Okay,
said
wait. Well,
sweet.
I know the one that I got is like spot on because I just do it with my brain. Like when I do it, so 22, 15 plus 6, 21. So you're missing. No, you're probably 16 and 6.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Because you have us getting swept and I do not. I have us
yeah.
have
And you had one
getting.
more win than me going into this Texas or in this Tampa Bay series.
Did I?
Yeah. You had 15-4.
Where was different? What did you say for the Red Sox? Oh,
No, because
wait.
I had 1-2 against the Yankees
Yeah,
and you had 2 and
yeah,
1.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay,
I
that
did like
makes
the
sense.
worst.
Yeah.
It's the worst road trip ever.
Hmm.
Um,
And I had us sweeping the Yankees,
yeah.
which is
Okay. Here we go. Last week of the season, Yankees come to Toronto,
hmm.
and it's a fucking statement game. 11-1,
Hmm.
dicking of the Yankees. Lose game 2 against Garrett Cole. Slaughter game 3 with Will in attendance. And the season's back on. It's 16-9 for September. The Jays are looking so good.
Never do that again. Um,
DJ,
I
I just
think.
contemplated my life in this chair after fictionally sweeping the Toronto Blue Jays.
Okay, I will say coming off that Rays game, we're gonna absolutely have one of the best one of the best games of the season. Um, the Yankees just won't have anything for us. We'll win convincingly. It'll be 7-2.
Game 1 win.
And then we lose 4-1. Garrett Cole comes out. No, fuck Garrett Cole. It's not gonna be Garrett Cole. We're gonna lose 4-1. And then
No, it is Garrett Cole.
uh is it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. That's like the one that I've. Garrett Cole's either Wednesday or Thursday because I tried to line up what Yankee was
Okay.
starting.
Okay. Well,
Neither here.
Either one that Garrett Cole starts, he's getting absolutely lit up and we're beating the fuck out of the Yankees. but the one before or after, we're gonna lose.
So are we 2-1 then?
2-1, 2-1, yeah.
Okay, so 18-7 for DJ.
And then
Final
man,
series against Tampa Bay. Do or die. And Toronto's been in this scenario before. 2021 against Baltimore. What did they do? They didn't just win one game. They didn't win just 2 games. They swept. You know what
oh,
Toronto's going to do against Tampa Bay? Because Tampa Bay is going to have their playoff spot clinched. They aren't going to be fighting for the division.
oh yeah,
They're
right.
going to be the 4th seed locked, right?
Yeah.
4th seed. They are 4th or 5th seed locked, right? They're not going to really try it after Friday night. Friday night, they might try and get a win there, right? But
But
Houston or Seattle, whoever's not leading division, loses. Tampa Bay clinches the 4th seed while losing Friday night. They give up. They don't care Saturday. They don't care Sunday. It's a Toronto Blue Jays sweep to end the season. Revenge is a dish best served cold, and that's what it's going to be like in Toronto in October, baby. 19-9 to finish out the season. DJ, top that.
it's probably because I'm on the hype train right now and you're making me blush. I was gonna say we lose game one, but fuck it. Let's get the sweep. Let's get the sweep. Get the brooms out. We're going into October, the hottest team in baseball, okay? We
Well, with
fucking
your fucking record prediction,
yeah,
we are. Holy
that
shit.
that's what I'm saying. We have well, this is what I expect from this team. And when's the last time this season where we've done anything like this? May? May? How good were we in May?
Hmm?
Was May? Did we do good in May?
No, April we went 18-9. DJ, you got us winning at a 750 clip.
That sounds good to me. Uh, damn. Yeah, to be honest, I don't think we're gonna sweep the Yankees. In
You can't change now.
no, I'm locked in now.
Okay,
But
so what is the Toronto Blue Jays record
oh my
right now?
god.
Right now,
Oh, we're 13 games above 500 or 12.
I don't, DJ, I don't know. I'm looking it up, dog. Looking it up. Okay, the Toronto Blue Jays are 73-61. With my prediction, 73 plus 19, that puts them at 92 games. 92 wins, 92-70, what we were last year.
That would be hilarious. They would do that. They would do that.
Yours of 73
Holy.
plus your 21
Holy, man.
puts the Toronto Blue Jays at 94-68.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Just wait. Just wait. Because they've been
DJ,
pissing me off.
I'm looking at these records and I'm actually losing hope because I know it won't happen.
Don't be like that. Like I said, we haven't had like a standout month in a while. Just let it be, okay? Let it be.
Let it be, let it be, let it
Let it
be, oh,
be.
let
If
it
if
be.
the Dodgers and Mariners can do what they're doing, we could do it. And not to mention, the first 9 games should be a lock, okay? Seriously.
So
Should be a lock.
just for reference here, at the
Uh-huh.
beginning of the season, I
Mhm.
projected the Toronto Blue Jays to win 94 games and lose 68. With your
Ah,
21-7 month, you
let's
have lined them
go.
up with that.
Let's go. See, we're meant to be. That's why we're doing a podcast.
But
All right, see, yep, there's always a but, yep.
the New York Yankees, 98 and
Huh?
64.
Holy
Because
shit.
the Rays, I had at 84-78, which I thought was fair at the time going in. And I had the Orioles at 83-79, which I also thought was pretty fair going in.
Yeah, we wouldn't have known that
No.
both teams were. I
And I didn't
mean,
expect New York to fall off like they did. I
one, the
expected a one
Rays
or
were
two
the
more years.
best. The Rays were the best team in baseball for the first half of the year, so it's like, what?
I have to retire from National League predictions. all 3 division winners that I picked
Last place.
aren't gonna make the playoffs.
Oh no, you had the Padres for sure.
Mets, Cardinals, Padres.
Yeah. Well, they've been the 3 biggest disappointments in baseball, so it's like.
Oh no, it
Yeah.
gets worse. In 5th place, your Cincinnati Reds at 67 and 95.
Holy. Hey, they were kind of a surprise, so I don't blame.
I had Oakland at 58 and 104. I actually might hit on that.
Who?
Oakland,
58 and
58 and
104.
104. They
Okay,
actually
but
might finish worse than that. They're at 39 right now.
yeah,
So
that's not something to be proud
they
of.
have to win, what is it, almost 20 games in
They have to win 20 games in September. Oh my god. Yeah. That would mean they would have to sweep the Blue Jays or at least take 2.
They would have to have the best month ever.
20 and 9 or something. Holy. I'm down. I'm so ready, but I'm so ready to be disappointed. I'm shooting high.
Blue
We've
Jay of the
been
Week
nothing but
prediction I
bad.
need from you. I need a Blue Jay of the Week
Oh,
prediction
oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
before we
Uh,
say
I'll just
goodbye.
say, I'll just say the training staff. I think the training staff gets with all the injuries and Bo's back. No. And I could say Ryu again, but I went pitcher last week.
And it didn't work out for you.
Shut up. Oh, it did in the second. Okay, game. I'm going with. He's been swinging the bat good lately, turning it around. Alejandro Kirk. We're gonna see him play like he played last year. You look like you just smelled someone take a shit, bro.
Yeah, it was Kirk running the bases.
Oh no! Oh my God! I can't believe they didn't pinch run for him. Thanks for bringing that up. That
You're
cost
welcome.
us the game.
Yeah,
Like
it
what a
did.
joke.
Um,
I will say that was a perfect throw. Like
yeah, but still, fuck that.
yeah, yeah. He's running in slow mo. Like
September, that's a big month. Big players come
biggest.
through. Big players come through in big moments.
You're right.
That's
On
meaning
paper.
guys like George Springer, Vladdy Jr., hell, even Danny Jansen coming through. You know who really finds his groove? Going up north, going high into those altitudes, where
Ooh.
he won 2021 All-Star Game MVP, the first one in Toronto Blue Jays history.
Mm.
Vladdy fucking Guerrero Jr. is going to have a monster goddamn week. And he's going to win 2 games.
This week, you're saying?
He's going to win 2 games in Colorado.
Okay. He's been swinging the bat like decent. Like
He's
he
been
hasn't
picking
kept
up
hitting.
for
Yeah.
Bo, and he's going to
Yeah.
go to where the balls fly, baby. And they're going to fly off his juicy sweet
Oakland.
swing.
He might have a nasty Oakland series. Okay. Yeah. It's a good prediction. I'll just say Kirk again.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
gonna say
sorry.
Kirk.
Okay. Well, I think
Uh,
that's a good place to end it. We're at about an hour and 20, so.
Springer's gonna be the Blue Jay of the month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think Blue Jay of the month, I'm going Gauzy.
I was gonna say, and my second choice is
I think
Gosman.
I think I'm running a Gosman jersey. I'm leaning toward getting a Gauzy jersey.
Oh, I should cop one for September. Okay, hear me out. If we go 9-0, I'll cop a jersey. On what day would that be?
You're
On
copping
the
a
10th.
Davis Schneider jersey.
On the 10th of September, I will cop. Or on the Monday, I don't know.
Okay.
On the Monday or the
Alright.
Sunday, I'll cop.
Whatever. I check.
If we go 9-0.
When we go
Cop
9
jersey.
0.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
We're
thank
gonna
you for
just come here
watching.
crying.
Thank you for watching. the most positive, upbeat Behind the Play podcast episode you'll ever have. This is a September to remember. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Share this with all your friends if they like baseball. This is a place to be. And yeah, catch you on the next one. Peace.